Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another pick a card reading. This reading is going to be about what makes you so attractive. I'm going to be giving you compliments. I'm going to be reading about the best parts of you. And at the end of your reading, I'll be doing another reading for you, which is what colors you can wear that will make you more attractive, or what colors you should embrace more in your life to make you feel more attractive. So I have 3 piles here. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Let's take a deep breath. And let's get started with pile number 1. Hi group number 1. So we have this oracle card, but I have some tarot and more oracle cards for you to read later. But first we're going to start with this. You have the Maiden. What makes you attractive? This card is already very attractive. So the Maiden, I'm getting that you have a youthful spirit. You might be someone who's perceived as innocent, but really you're just very curious. People might say that you have like a baby face, or that they think that you're really innocent and sometimes very sweet. You probably have really nice skin no matter what age you are. I'm getting that you have a very delicate beauty, or graceful, and you're like kind of like a flower. Like you see this rose here, it's just kind of like your aesthetic, like very delicate and graceful beauty, even stoic sometimes. But more than stoic is just like a curious energy. You have a very youthful energy. You might have very strong pheromones. You might smell really good, and you might have like really strong, sweet floral pheromones. You might look really good in pink. Yeah, you just have a youthful appearance about you and a youthful energy about you. Let's read the interpretation of this card. All right. So the Maiden, the virgin, the princess, the innocent. The Maiden archetype is the epitome of innocent arousal, naive sensuality, and precarious purity. She is compelling and addictive because of her flawless and youthful glow. She's the first archetype in the trifecta of maiden, mother, crone, and rightfully so, because she has oh so much to learn. The maiden is perfectly positioned for trouble to come her way and subject her to a challenge that leads to a next phase of womanhood. She must grow up, yet hesitates at the threshold, enamored by the charms of youth. The maiden represents the side of us that is riveted and curious, drawn to shadowy forests, dark nights, and taking just one taste of poisonous fruit. Her magic is edgy, includes both shame and delight. Let yourself fall down the rabbit hole, young one. So I'm getting with this that you're like very fearless. Like people think that you are innocent, but really you're just extremely fearless and excited about life in general. I'm also getting that people might like to project onto you a lot because of this energy that you give out, and this doesn't have to be negative or positive. It's just they just like to project onto you. People might have like really strong lustful fantasies towards you. But okay, let's get into your tarot cards. Okay, tarot cards, we have the World, Seven of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. Okay, give me a second to read this. People are highly romantic towards you. They, like I said, they project onto you, and they tend to put their delusions onto you. And they kind of want to own you a lot of the time. But then they realize that they cannot own you. Nobody can own you. I think that's the excitement of you and why you're so attractive, is that you seem to be something that someone can own, but then they get to know you and find out that you have more depth than that, that you are actually curious about life for yourself. You're not someone that needs to be taken care of, but you put out that energy. You have like Marilyn Monroe syndrome. I'm getting like that. You have that kind of energy, a very youthful, excitable energy, but you're just so excitable because you're so curious and you want to be excited, and you're easily excited, and people find that to be very attractive and cute. People may perceive you as easy to manipulate and maintain, but you can't be owned. You're like Marilyn Monroe or a manic pixie dream girl type of person. People want to take care of you. They really want to take care of you. I'm getting like sugar baby kind of energy. They want to take care of you, and you pretty much let them. You pretty much are a receiver. You're really good at that. You have a really strong like feminine energy. Like, you're a very good receiver. You do let them take care of you. You know what you need and what you want in the moment, even if it's not long-term wants and needs. You know what you need in the moment. And it changes with every moment. That's what makes people so frustrated. They're like, I thought you wanted me, but then like you're like, yeah, I did want you, but now I want something else. You're kind of like that kind of person. But with this, I want to kind of give you some compliments, because you celebrate your growth, and you respect yourself, and you respect your joy, and you do put yourself first. You move through life with like higher understandings and creativity and love. You align with your inner child. You speak and you take actions based on what your inner child wants. And you're a very creative spirit. Not just because if you are not like creative, like tangibly, like you're not doing any painting or anything like tactical like that, you still can be a creative person through how you make your life. You're like a creative person throughout your experiences in your life. You create your experiences based on what you have, if that makes sense. And yeah, there's a very, you're like main character energy. You're like the love interest that we never get to know their backstory, but we really want to. Let's get into some oracle cards. Put these to the side for now. Okay, we have Shapeshifter, Seeker. Shapeshifter, Seeker. Give me a second. Okay, so with these cards, I'm seeing that you are highly spiritual person. You are. You might not know that about yourself, or you might not think about yourself in that way, or people might not think of you in that deep way. A lot of times people are very shallow when they in their pursuit for you, but you are very spiritual on how you go about your life. You're a spellcaster, obviously, because of who you are and your energy that you carry. You are a spellcaster. You're like connected to the dreamscape. You might be really good at astral like projection and things like that, and you might be like have like very vivid dreams, but you are connected to that part of yourself. You know that there's more to life than what there is here physically. And with this shapeshifter card, I see that you come off as naughty and like in a sexy way. I see that you come off that way because people get very surprised by you a lot, how you can like switch, you know? They get very surprised, like how I say you live in the moment. You can switch in the moment based on what the moment entails, and people think that you are kind of clever and a little naughty, and people probably really like that about you, especially men or older women, or you know, like anyone. But all in all, you're like in the pursuit of truth, and you're constantly moving, constantly knowing that there's more experiences to life, and you're constantly trying to find wisdom, and that's what people uncover about you. I would say that I think you know who's in pursuit of you in terms of their lust, and not who's actually curious about you and wanting to really get to know you. And those people understand who you are. Those people appreciate who you are. So just know and decipher who's trying to like take from you sexually and who actually wants to get to know you. Okay, we have these cards are from the Literary Witches Oracle deck. These are like different authors. This is Gertrude Stein, Perspective. And this is Leslie Merman Soko with Community. Give me a second. So with this Leslie card with Community, I see here that you might have been like someone who was exiled from your community in some type of way. I can see that people when you were younger really misunderstood you and really took you for something that you're not, and projected on you a lot when you were a child. And now as an adult or as a growing person, you kind of feel like that lost person, and kind of like that person that was exiled out of their community and trying to find their way. But I feel like you are the person that brings those people who were exiled together. Your community person. You're like someone who understands universal connectedness, even though you were like probably treated as a scapegoat or someone who wasn't accepted. You are someone who can give you're someone who accepts certain people just because of how curious you are and how understanding you are. You accept all types of people, and that is why you're so attractive, and that's probably why a lot of people fall in love with you. You're someone that people meet when they're looking for their roots, because that's what you're doing. You're looking for somewhere you can root yourself. You are ultimately looking for stability, but in a way that's slow and curious and wise. Yeah. And with this card, Gertrude Stein, Perspective, you're someone who's kind of like stripped of logic. It's not like you're like logically inept, but you're someone who is more a person who plays to get to the end result. You play in the process of wisdom, of knowledge. You do a lot of playing with your environment and people. You think that life is a playground, and it's a very happy way to live. You probably are very into like the arts and collecting experiences like their art. You probably have a lot of stories to tell. People probably who crush on you probably just want to hear you speak and hear what you have to say about things and your experiences, and every time it surprises them. You might not know, but these people, you have a lot of people who are in love with you, so, and a lot of people who won't forgive you. You have a lot of people wanting to give you this rose. That's this pink rose. Pink roses might have a significance in your life. Maybe you should watch out for whoever gives you a pink rose in a good way. They might be like liking you for the right reasons, or you might want to surround yourself with pink roses. Yeah. Like you have these love letters. People want to give you love letters. Yeah, and that's what I have for you guys. Let's see your colors. What colors you should embrace more, or what colors you should wear more to make you more attractive. You have orange, relationships, and red, stability, security. So this has to do with your roots and stability and security, obviously. And with red, maybe you can use red to your advantage, to where if you're getting people who perceive you as a certain way, you can probably, maybe wearing red and the color red will make them kind of respect you more. Obviously you cannot control how people view you, but I think red will help you kind of protect yourself a little more. If you're feeling like a little controlled, someone's controlling you, or you feel a little stuck, maybe you should embrace red more. It'll make you feel like a little more powerful, and it'll probably like give you a sense of security. With orange, I kind of think that embracing orange will make you feel more autonomous over your sexuality. I see that a lot of people try to use you for sexual purposes, and a lot of people have lust for you, and I kind of think that orange will give you more control with that. And for you, this is also a message for you to choose your relationships also based on like someone not taking from you, based on them giving to you. That's a message that I'm getting. I hope that made sense. But yeah, that is my reading for you, pile number 1. I hope you have a good day or a good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's get started. Wow. You have the deep end. Okay, with this, I'm getting that you have very, very intense energy. Anyone that has fallen for you or crushed on you, they were just caught in your web. People just stop and stare at you when they meet you. There's something very dark and beautiful about your energy or your appearance. You might just have really beautiful eyes, or have that like dead stare. I don't know if any of you know what I mean by that. Like a lot of people, like when they stare, it looks like they're like void of life, but it can come off really sexy sometimes. Like, I hope that didn't get taken the wrong way, but even if it's not the dead stare, it's like your eyes are just so magnetic. You have like Black Widow energy, because when people crush on you or if they fall for you, they just get caught up on you. That's it. And yeah, yeah, let's read this. Let's read this. I think this will make more sense once we read the description. And they have really good descriptions in this book, so let's read it. All right. This is the Archetypes Oracle. I have to find the page. 143. All right. The deep end. The closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. Contrary to what its name implies, the deep end is very much alive. It is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. It is thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls. With every bramble, thorn, and stone, it simply states, "No more, child. You have reached the last page of this chapter." It is natural to resist its very resistance and struggle even harder to make your way, to prove your point, to hold on to what is. In this way, we fight with our life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the one you planned on walking through. If you are honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. Okay, well, I'm seeing that is like not a joke to get into in a relationship with you. You're one of those people where you literally change someone's perspective on life. You might be a person where you get a lot of people who are lost, and like the first pile in a different way. I was saying how they attract a lot of people that are lost. You attract a lot of people who were lost after a very intense situation in their life. Or you're someone who, you meet someone very stubborn. You meet a lot of very stubborn people, and you kind of like change their minds. And it's like, what is that term called? Like biting teeth, or very hard. I think you guys would know what I'm talking about. It's like pulling teeth. Yeah, something like that. It's like you get them to change their minds. And you're just like a very intense energy. People will never forget you. I'm already seeing that right now. So let's look at your tarot cards. Your tarot cards, and there's very strong energy here already. We have the Star, we have the Empress, and we have the Queen of Wands. Give me a second to read. Okay, so I'm seeing another side of you. First, I want to say that you are very confident person, very, very confident, but you're not boastful. It's actually really not your intention to be popular, but you just are. You just are. You can't control it. You are someone who might not follow trends, or you might dress up based on what's comfortable for you. And you're very comfortable in your body. You might like look at the mirror a lot, and like just like admire yourself, and like adorn yourself with like whatever you want to wear based on how you feel. You don't follow trends. You're not trying to impress people. You actually try to impress yourself. Like I said, you don't want to be popular, but a lot of people know of you, but they don't even know your name. A lot of people know of you, they'll see you and then just keep thinking about you. And maybe like at a party, like you'll see like you'll meet some people just like casually, and like not even remember their names, and they don't even remember your name, but they'll like talk about you. They'll be like, remember that girl, she was so beautiful, or like so like sexy or something like that. Yeah. But I'm seeing another side of you where like you are actually, even though you have this like intense dark energy, you are actually like very bright in the inside. You actually are like a light holder. Like you, and people get caught up in your web, you actually like kind of like heal them. You're someone who has a lot of inspiration and hope inside of them, deep down inside of them, guiding yourself. You find purification through darkness. You are not afraid of the darkness. You actually indulge in the darkness sometimes, and think that is a very great place to start off with creating. You don't see any light without darkness, or you are the light within the darkness. You're someone who is like very impressive with maybe what you do in your work or what you create, but you like kind of surpass boundaries. I'm seeing a lot of like surrealist painters or innovators and things like that. Yeah, you're just like a very, very avant-garde thinker and creator. And seeing that you are a very down-to-earth person, actually, that's what a lot of people find very attractive about you, that you're actually very down-to-earth. You're one of those people who are very popular, but you're like extremely, like actually very nice when people talk to you, very sweet. But you really do not come off that way. And people just get caught in your web. Like first they get magnetized in because of your energy. You can't even help this. It's not something you're doing, but they just get magnetized in because you're the light in the darkness. And then they just stay there, and they're like, wow, I never knew you were so comfortable. You're just a comfortable person to be around. Like you're non-judgmental, very comfortable, and you inspire people. And it's just a very beautiful energy. You're like the royalty in the community. Everyone is special, but you are just like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like one of a kind, basically. You're a star. And you might have a cat, a little black cat. Yeah, you're like not, or like a companion, animal companion, or like a spirit guide, an animal spirit guide. You might want to talk to your animal spirit guide. They have a message for you. But yeah, you are very special person. That's why people find you attractive. When it comes to your looks, you have a very beautiful body. Very beautiful body. You are very sexy. That's what a lot of people are attracted to you sexually. They definitely get caught in your web. You probably are very intimate in bed, and people think about you after having sex with you. People like to explore your body. People like to just sometimes like they just want to stay with you the next day. I get like a lot of people might want to stay with you the next day and just hang out with you. I get like a lot of people just want to be in your energy. Yeah, that's what I'm getting with this. Let's look at some oracle cards, see if it'll tell us a little more. The network you're in, dilettante. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, so with this, I'm saying that you are very much a jack of all trades. You could pretty much do anything. You can cook, you can paint, you can garden, you can write. You could pretty much do anything. and a networker, deliverer of information. So with this, I'm getting more of a message. Obviously, this is very attractive traits, but I'm getting that you need to network your skills because you're meant to be your own boss. And you need to pick a skill that you know that you feel excited about, and that you know that you can do regularly, and you should definitely try to network it because you can possibly have a very strong career in this. So with this, what people find you attractive is that you're very self-sufficient. You're very self-sufficient, and I think a lot of people feel like they can learn things from you. Definitely don't let anyone use you or like try to get something from you and not try to give anything back. But there's a lot of people who are very impressed by you with what you do, and how capable you are of doing things. I think that's another reason why people find you attractive, because they feel like you're highly capable. And that is a very attractive trait. Like, imagine having a significant other or a friend who literally can help you with anything. You're a hard worker, and you're very sociable. You're able to talk to a lot of different kind of people. I see that too. I see that people are very attracted to you because they're impressed with like your communication style. You're very good at talking to people, and getting what you need and getting people to like you. I see a lot of Libras here. You could talk to all kinds of people from different backgrounds, and that is very attractive. I love people like that. Yeah, we have more oracle cards. You have Knife and Shirley Jackson. This is the literary witches oracle cards. So these are like different authors, and sometimes they have like items that hold meaning. Like Knife is about intention and conflict resolution. I do see strong Libra vibes here. You might want to check your Vedic or Western astrology chart. You might have Libra placements, like very significant Libra placements. Yeah, you're a very intentional person. Everything you do, you like to have fun, and you can be careless sometimes out of like, like with this, like being a jack of all trades. Sometimes you just do things because you want to see if you can do it, but then there's a lot of the time you're very intentional with what you do and who you are. And another reason why people really are attractive to you, because you make space for yourself. And that is very, very attractive. You making space for yourself. A lot of people are really scared to be in environments and don't feel like they belong, but you might have felt like that way in the past. But now, as you're growing, you kind of make space for yourself. Anywhere. You feel like you belong anywhere. And that's very attractive, because you can that can rub off on your friends and your family and your lovers. And it just makes you a very comfortable person to be around. Like I said, I can see here that you have like a very good sense of humor. That's why a lot of people are attracted to you, because like I said, they see you and they think you're so intentional, and then they get to know you and it's like just flip, because you're so funny, you're so comfortable to be around, you're so inspiring, you're the light in the darkness, inside of the darkness. And I also see here that you kind of mix the ordinary with the supernatural. Like, you make little things seem so beautiful. That's why people like to be around you and they feel comfortable with you. Like, even a walk with you is like the best time they had all week or something like that. And just like the little things, you give people so much pleasure in just doing the little things with you. Like, there's a lot of people that would like to spend the rest of their life with you, and never will let you go. And a lot of people have let you go and they still think about you and they still get inspired by you, and they don't forget about you. They probably compare a lot of things in their life to you. A lot of people who have let you go, they probably think back on the relationship and they're like, what would they do? Or what did I learn when I was with them? And I miss them so much, and they taught me so much, and I will never forget about them, type of energy. Now let's look at your colors. You have green and purple, presence and compassion. I see more purple in here, and I do see some green too. Purple can make you more powerful when you step into a room. Like maybe if you're going to a party, maybe you should consider wearing purple if you want to be more attractive, because you already have a very intense presence that people might take it the wrong way. Also, another thing, people might really dislike you for no reason. A lot of the time when people come off very intense, people do not like that, but that has nothing to do with you. But if you wear purple, it can kind of balance that a little bit. People can probably feel more comfortable around you. Obviously, it's not your duty to make every single person comfortable with who you are, but it can make you feel more balanced when you're wearing purple. And it can make you feel more present in the moment. Green has a lot to do with your heart and compassion. And maybe if you're feeling a little stressed, maybe you should look at something in your room that's green, or go to maybe nature. I think that's what this is signifying actually, is that you might want to go to nature when you feel a little overwhelmed. But yeah, that is what I have for you, group number 2. Let's move on to group number 3. Thank you. Hi everyone. This is pile number 3. Let's look at your card. So you have the Seed. I'm getting that this is a very intellectual group. I'm getting that you might be a person where you have a conversation with someone, and that person that you may have forgotten about, like you having a casual conversation, but to that person it's not casual. Like they're not gonna forget it. They probably keep replaying it over and over. Or even if they're not thinking about you particularly, they're thinking about the thing that you talked about with them. So a lot of people who crushing on you, or who are curious about you, try to seek out more information about you. I get that they try to look you up online and things like that. And I see that these are my mysterious type of people. And I also see that these are, you don't have to be, but I see a lot of you as chasers, people who chase other people, because you kind of don't allow people to chase you for some reason. But you're a very intellectual person. These are my scientific, metaphysical speakers. You talk to people and they just they're I never talked about this with anyone, or I don't meet a lot of people where I can talk about this kind of stuff with, and I didn't even know that I had this capability to have this kind of conversation with someone. And I see that you might make people daydream about you after you meet them, or if they're crushing about you, they kind of just start seeing dreams about you. They might see that there's endless possibilities with you. There's more to learn to life. I feel you kind of bring them out of their rut if they were in one. Give them ideas and excitement. Yeah, let's read this description because I like these descriptions in the book. So let's read it. All right, the seed, 197. The seed, the beginning, the origin, the pearl. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soul. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, you know that when this card appears, there is a potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it is a sure sign of growth to come. You are bumping against a growth edge. It is from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. Okay, so you plant seeds in people's minds. You are a very good speaker. You're like a very smooth talker. You're one of those, like, I can get whoever I want to get by just talking to them. Yeah, you plant seeds in people. You pretty much can have like a wheel of lovers if you wanted to, because you plant seeds in these people. You plant possibilities, and it's not like you're not going to play into those possibilities, but you will with the one that you want to. You're not intentionally like making people fall in love with you just because you want it. It's just that you just are someone who likes to do less small talk and get into the deep side of things, and people really like that about you. It's very refreshing. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards. Okay, we have the Page of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Okay, like I said, a lot of people want you. You're a very good speaker. Sometimes you can come off as cold and aloof if you're not like in your zone or not talking about these things. Sometimes you come off as like cold and aloof, but you are extremely philosophical. You're actually like thinking. You're so philosophical. You just plant ideas into people's minds. And you're one of those people that everyone wants, okay? You might not be very in touch with how you look, how beautiful you are. You might be like someone who functions in the metaphysical, and you don't really feel connected. When people give you compliments about your looks, you're like, thank you, but you don't really understand it. It doesn't register. Yeah. So with the Page of Swords, I see that you're just very clever. Okay, not only are you philosophical, but you're just very quick and clever with your words. You kind of, the conversation just leads around you, and you're like, you start the conversation and you like keep it going, and people want to know what you're going to say next. You have like very useful info for everything. It's not like you're a know-it-all. You just have like very, like, you have an avant-garde mind. And you know what people want to hear. You're intelligent. You are also able to like perceive power dynamics to avoid it, which is really good because you can navigate peacefully through them. You usually are very picky with your lovers and who you come across, because you can understand power dynamics. Maybe when you were younger, you kind of understood it, but you were kind of weak to it, or not weak, but helpless to it. And you kind of grew up out of that, and you have more autonomy with who you allow in your life. Maybe a parent or a family member was like controlling. And you always wanted to do something differently, and now you're able to do that. But you're independent, and you have very strong boundaries because of that. And you transform that hurt into safety for yourself, all with your mind and your willpower of your mind. You might get a lot of downloads if you're spiritual and you're into that. You might get a lot of downloads from spirit and messages from spirit that just come through you when you communicate. People are really in awe with you, to be honest. And you're also like really good at something that is like not a lot of people can do, which makes you really attractive. Maybe something that has to do with science, or maybe you're really good at making a certain thing that is very obscure and not a lot of people have that skill. But or maybe you're gonna find that skill, but you're very good at something that people are extremely impressed by, that takes a lot of like patience and mental willpower. And you also like have really strong boundaries, and you can validate yourself, and you are curious about what other people have to say. You really do like take into consideration other people's point of view. You never make anyone feel less than you, but you still know how important you are, and that's attractive. It's very attractive to be like that. People might see you as a very mature person, very mature, stoic person. And yeah, very, what do you call it? Like very important person. Very important person. People see you as like up there, you know? Yeah, let's look at some oracle cards. Okay, we have the addict, and you have preserving knowledge and information. Okay, you're really good at seeing what's best for you. I'm seeing that you have gone through a lot of experiences that caused you a lot of pain and mental turmoil, and probably physical harm. Obviously, maybe a family member or you have struggled with addiction. Now you're really able to regulate yourself mentally, and you went through a lot of like rehabilitation, probably not physically, but also mentally or physically. And you're very anti-manipulation. You don't like manipulation. You don't like power dynamics. You really hate it. I'm actually seeing a lot of Aquariuses here. And you probably were a person that went through a lot of darkness, and it never had external forces. It never had any like authority over you. Maybe in the past it did, but you have very good like perseverance from what you went through. You're really good at seeing what's best for you, is what I'm saying. Like this says, you can recognize and confront addictive behaviors. You're very good at seeing something that might be seen as toxic. You're very good at that. And scribe, this is saying that you are going to, or you are doing something that is very highly respected. You're going to do something with what you have been learning. You're probably a very amazing writer, is what I'm getting with these people. You probably might need to go into that more, writing, becoming an author, because it can really help a lot of people, because you understand darkness, and people might not think that you can be that deep from talking to you for a second or just looking at you, but you are able to go extremely deep, and you have a lot of things that should be shared with the world. And you just don't bother people, to be honest. You kind of let people do their thing. Like, you're very independent. You let other people be independent. And a lot of people find that very attractive. And you also have a lot of people that finds that offensive, which you might want to stay away from those people because they don't know yet. They're still learning. Just let them learn, because you deserve someone that understands and respects what you've been through and who you are and what you need in a relationship. But you're really good at seeing those kind of dynamics because you've been through those dynamics before. I'm saying that you guys might have been through something very serious, but good for you for being this person who is able to move past that. Okay, let's look at these. Hedgehog and tree. So with hedgehog, I'm seeing that you come off very stoic and kind of aloof and cold, like I said, but you are so vulnerable. With these two cards here, I'm kind of saying that you come off as these, like Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, but you're actually hiding your tenderness because you have been through a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. But people who really love you and know you, they know that you are so vulnerable and tender, and like, you do have very strong emotions. You just have so much wisdom, and you rather share the wisdom with the world. But that one person or multiple people who get to know you really is a message I'm getting, is that they're really happy to be there for you, and they love you so much. And you just have like really strong roots. You're like a very strong person. You're connected with yourself, or you try to be. People find you attractive because you are amazing. Like, you're like very impressive in whatever you do. And also, you're very impressive with your words and your philosophy, and they think they can learn a lot from you. They kind of think that you're one of a kind, to be honest. They think you're very unique, and they respect you so much. And some people, you might be one of those people who don't get a lot of people to come after you, and you have to chase, because a lot of people are scared to come after you because people can see how strong you are, and that can be intimidating to someone who's not ready for that type of thing. But that's good for you because it weeds out who's not for you, you know? But even if those people won't come after you, they are having dreams about you, thinking about you all the time, having relationships with you in their head, but they're not going to come to you and ask you. But you know if they're not ready, so you probably not be down for it anyway. But yeah, you're attractive because you're hella smart, hella intelligent, hella impressive, hella unique. And I'm seeing that you're like extremely beautiful but untouchable. Like, you might have that like otherworldly beauty, and it's so hot because you don't even see it. Not that you shouldn't be confident in how you look, but I'm just saying, like, you're not even connected to that. You're so not shallow. You are incredibly deep. And you are not for the weak. You're going to attract people who are just as amazing as you and can handle it. So, very exciting for you. Let's look at your colors. Okay, we have psychic abilities and truth. So truth, I see that you have a very would you call it like retro kind of style will work really good on you, like a retro style. A lot of like spacey elements, like moon, like starry, like planetary, like very like spacey kind of like fashion. I don't know if this is like, I don't know if this makes sense, but with blue, I'm seeing that you should probably go out for walks more, or go to the park more and just lay down and look at the sky. You should like kind of like look to the sky a little bit more when you're feeling anxious or stressed, or even go to the beach. But I'm saying that you need to go out in open space more and see all the different colors of blue, and get inspired by that. Even wearing blue might be really beautiful for you. And also, this, I think it can attract this lilac color. I feel like if you wear it more, it can attract certain kind of people with the same abilities as you, because I do see that you have a lot of psychic abilities because you're so metaphysically aware. But these are very actually complementary colors, so you can actually wear both and it'll look really beautiful on you. You'll kind of look like a retro disco kind of person. And yeah, that's what I have for you, pile number 3. I hope you have a good night or day, and thank you for coming to my reading, and best to you. Thank you. Bye.